Good morning, good morning, good morning. I think we are live. I hope we are live. It says I'm streaming, but I'm not seeing my chat for some reason. So we will just have to go with it this morning. But good morning and welcome to the Real Estate Vault. I am your hostess, Rochelle Van Duzer, with All About Real Estate LV, TN, CA, CO, whatever you want to call it. And today I thought that I would talk about the process. A lot of people ask, well, what is your process? What does a transaction coordinator really do? And that is a valid question and a great question. And something that definitely I want to go over. I did one of these before, and I realized that my sound was not working for some reason, so I'm making sure that my sound is on and working right now. The other thing I wanted to mention was the last couple weeks I've missed everybody, and a couple weeks ago I was at my niece's wedding in Colorado, which was amazing. If you've never been there, oh my gosh, Pagosa Springs is gorgeous. And then the week after that, which was last week, I was at a neighbor's funeral. His wife passed away, unfortunately. So sometimes there's priorities that happen that we have to do that are more important, family, friends, funerals, things like that. So I could not do the Real Estate Vault, but I'm really happy to be back, and I'm really excited because if you can see what's on, and I'm not sure if it's the screen here or the screen there. One of these, my fingers are pointing correctly. The TC Smart Vault is in the background. That is my branded TC Smart Vault. That is something that transaction coordinators all over the world, if you're watching this, something that you can purchase and use for yourself. That would be what your dashboard would look like. And basically when a deal comes in, you will do an intake form and everything will populate, and then you'll be able to track all of your deals. So I get that all set up for you, custom to how you want. Your logo, goes in it, so it's proprietary to you. And it's something that you will all be able to use. It's going to be up and running within the next couple weeks. So I will be talking more about that in some of the future sessions also. But for now, if you're a Las Vegas agent, or an agent anywhere for that matter in the United States who wants smoother escrows, fewer compliance headaches, and you want to have more time to actually generate income, then you're in the right place. Because I am going to talk about how you can do that. And also, if there's ever any topics that you want covered, DM me. I build these sessions for you, not for me, for you. Try to make them educational and give information that you want to see. So also don't forget to subscribe because you don't want to miss these vault sessions and when I'm going live. All right, let's talk about escrows. They're so much fun. Most transaction coordinators upload paperwork, check some boxes, send a reminder email or two, and wait for someone to tell them what to do. That's more administrative assistance, but also a transaction coordinator. And it is very helpful because most agents, the paperwork is number one. That's what they don't like doing, is uploading paperwork. I actually had someone call me the other day and thought they wanted to hire me as a TC because that's what they said, but then they were talking about how they just wanted paperwork uploaded and that's it. They were going to do everything else. And I was like, that's not what I do. But that's more of an admin thing, and thank you, but no thank you. It's so much more when you get a Techy Transaction Coordinator. So that's not being proactive. And if you're a transaction coordinator, transaction manager, you know that you need to be proactive, not reactive. There's a big difference. So there's also a huge difference between document uploading and deal management. So let's get into that more. Here's how I run a file. Now, there's lots of transaction coordinators out there. There's lots of good ones. There's some that do more than others. And the number one thing I always get is, why are you different? What sets you apart? Well, let me try to explain that to you. Here's how I run a file. So it should be compliance first before anything gets uploaded to the broker CRM. And I admit I still make some mistakes. We all do. But for the most part, you review every contract, every addendum, every form before it even gets uploaded to your brokerage system for compliance. This will save the compliance time on your brokerage and also save you time as a transaction coordinator and realtor, so you're not getting all the messages. So you got to check for missing signatures, incorrect dates. A lot of times I've noticed that the person will sign after the date says that you're supposed to sign, like you're supposed to sign by 5 o'clock on Thursday, and they sign at 6 o'clock on Thursday. You don't have a valid contract. If they want to get out of that contract, they can. So you got to make sure that your TC is checking all of those, because you should not have to be doing all that. Obviously you can if you want, but if you have a good TC, then they should be checking all of these dates and also checking deadline inconsistencies, compliance issues, everything like that, blank sections, stuff that's not filled in. Always put none or NA on sections that aren't filled in so somebody can't go back in and put something in there. Because once it hits the broker system, it should be clean. Otherwise, you as an agent are getting notices, I'm getting notices, and then it ends up being a messy file and creating more work for everyone, including the broker. So that's one of the ways. The next thing that's very different that I do is I ask the realtor to immediately start a text thread with me, my agent, and the buyer or seller. Why? Okay, because you're thinking, okay, well, I don't want my TC communicating with my buyers or sellers. I want to be the one doing that because that's your job, and you're exactly right. But communication kills momentum. If you don't have good communication, momentum gets killed. So here's why I ask my clients to start that 3-way text thread, or 4-way, however many people are on it. Because if a question comes up about inspections, appraisals, deadlines, we all see it in real time. There's no forwarding, no confusion. Nobody's like, well, I didn't know that, or we didn't get that. When I send out documents for, via AuthentiSign to be signed, or via DocuSign, then the TC posts on the thread. I post on the thread and I say, this document was just sent via AuthentiSign. Let Agent Sally know if you have any questions. Not me. Let Agent Sally know if you have any questions. That's your agent. So you're still the main agent and the main contact, and they know that. But they also know you have a team, aka your transaction coordinator / admin / whatever you want to call that person, that is behind the scenes doing all the paperwork and keeping everything on track. I have never in 20 years plus had a complaint from a buyer or seller, which is your client, complaining that there was too much communication. Have you ever had a complaint that there's too much communication? I never have. Maybe you have, I don't know, but the way I handle it, I never have. In fact, the clients at the end are always giving rave reviews to not only me, the TC, but to you as an agent, because they're in the loop the whole time. So speaking about being in the loop, I also do separate emails. Separate intro emails is strategic. A lot of TCs I notice send out one email that has all the information that goes to the lender, escrow, like everybody's included on it. Do not do that. You do not want your TC doing that. There are certain information that the lender does not need to be privy to, and same with escrow, blah, blah, blah. These should be separate emails to escrow, to the lender, to the buyer and seller, and to the co-op agent. You don't just do one blast to save time to everyone. Does it save time? Of course. My system, I have it set up where there's separate emails for every single person, because lender doesn't need to know about repairs, credits, concessions. It could throw the whole deal off and mess up your deal. So it could also impact your underwriting and loan approval. It's just strategy. So it takes more time on the transaction coordinator's end, not you. You're not the one having to spend the time on this. And that way escrow are being CC'd to the correct people in the right order, and the right people are getting the correct information. So it's a strategy that your TC should be doing, and you do not want to have, it's not about fewer emails, it's about smarter communication. So you might think, yeah, but then you've got this set of emails over here to these people, this set over here to these people. Yes, you do, but that is actually better organized, and it is a specific strategy and smarter communication that basically makes sure that everybody's getting the information that they need to know, if that makes any sense. Next is a buyer-seller expectation email. So first, an escrow email goes out basically with all the information for the buyer or seller, whichever side, whether it's the listing escrow email or the buyer-selling email. That goes out, introduces basically everybody, the agents, who the agent is, who the TC is. I even give information on the other agent to escrow so they have it. What if there's any concessions, if there's when some of the major dates are, if there's going to be, whatever the broker fee is going to be, the commission, if there's any other fees that need to be done, how the TC is going to be paid, if it's going to be paid through escrow, or if you're going to get paid, some other way, then that won't be on there. The broker fees, everything's going to be in that intro escrow email. Then a separate one goes out to the lender. Same thing, introducing separate information. They don't need to know all the stuff that escrow has. They just basically, even if it's the seller, I send out to their lender because we want to make sure that their lender knows who we are. And then we just say basically, hey, if you need anything on our side, let us know. So then we're not done there. The buyer or seller gets their own email with key contingency dates. Here's the next steps. Make sure you get your EMD into escrow. Your agent's going to be calling you to set up the inspection. It basically gives them a timeline and makes them feel good and understand, and let them know you're going to be letting them know about other things that are going to come up. When the request for repairs comes up, then you let them know, hey, your agent Alex will be discussing these with you, or is going to be calling you. Just information, communication. Your seller and your buyer and you as an agent should always know what's going on with this deal at any given time. And if everybody is in the loop in the proper way, even if it's separate emails and with that text thread, you're always going to know what's going on, and there's not going to ever be any drop balls, if that makes any sense. It's huge. It educates the clients. There's no confused clients calling you late at night asking what's going on. You can pivot however you need to. The other big thing I always get asked as a Techy TC, do you work 9 to 5 like a lot of transaction coordinators? No, 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 and no. Real estate is not on a schedule, as we all know. Some of my days I'm just slammed, super busy, one thing after another. Other days are a little slower, but agents are showing houses on the weekends, open houses. So a lot of times on Sundays, especially Sunday evenings, that's when these deals are coming in. Send it over to me. That's my day off, but send it over to me because I might be able to get it started in my database. And then that way, first thing in the morning, I'm ready to go with those intro emails, getting escrow opened, everything else. Especially if I have 2 or 3 coming in on a weekend, I want to make sure I'm going to be ready to go first thing in the morning for all of my clients. So no, certain counters expire by certain times, addendums, requests for repairs. There's certain things that are going to expire by midnight that need to get out. I will always let my clients know that if I'm not going to be available or I'm not in front of my computer at a certain time, so they know they have to do it themselves. But you have to be available for your clients. And as a Techy TC, that's one of the things that I do. I'm available for my clients at non-business hours, and I just ask that if it's urgent, just text me with urgent. I'll jump right in because we're a team. Your success equals my success, and I don't want to lose these deals over timing, just like you don't. Because if we're good partners and we're getting these deals closed, guess what? You get paid, which means I get paid. So it's a win-win for everybody. So if your transaction coordinator is just uploading paperwork, then you're leaving protection and professionalism on the table. Make sure that your TC protects your license, protects your time, protects your client's experience. That's one of the most important, and protects your reputation. Ultimately, also protects your paycheck, because if you're not making money, then what good does it do anybody? Because the TC is not going to be making any money and everybody's going to be frustrated. So that was just a kind of a quick thing. Also, I keep up to date on the latest AI technologies, automation, that type of stuff. I've talked before about how I design my own database that's in the background. This is one that I designed specifically for other transaction coordinators, so they don't have to pay the $60, $70 excuse me, whatever it is now on a monthly fee to top producer or these other, whatever the other ones, these other ones that you're using. And you're not stuck with their database, you're stuck with your own proprietary one, so nobody else has your files, they can't go out of business, it's for you. I apologize for the raspy voice, not sure what's going on, but my allergies are really bad. Anyway, if you are ready for a TC who's techy, manages the deals, not just your documents, be sure to direct message me. Don't forget to subscribe so that you can join me every Tuesday at 10:30. If I'm not on Tuesday at 10:30, that means I'm taking care of you or your clients, or I have, family stuff going on, something like that. But I'm trying my best to do this every Tuesday at 10:30. Also remember, if you have a subject that you would like me to talk about, please let me know. I am all about assisting other TCs, real estate agents, anybody. I'm more than happy to give you tips, tricks, help you. And if you're interested in this TC Smart Vault, which I will be talking more about on my next one, please let me know. I also have one for real estate agents for tracking leads. So that one is going to be another one coming up. Thank you all so much. Subscribe. Join me. I'm at Rochelle Van Duzer on YouTube, realestategallv@gmail.com, on Instagram, and I look forward to seeing you all next Tuesday. Go out there, get those deals, and also become a techie real estate agent. There's a big difference, and you will set yourself apart from the rest out there. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.